Hello, 12th standard people. We have already completed two chapters. We understood everything sentence by sentence. So now here is the another session of poem. Okay. Actually it is the first session of the poem, and today we will be starting this one, that is My Mother at 66, written by Kamla Das. Okay, so it's a very nice poem and we shall try to understand what it is. First, let us have an introduction about the poetess. Kamla Das was born in Malabar, Kerala. She is recognized as one of India's foremost poets. Her works are known for her originality, versatility, and the indigenous flavor of the soil. Kamla Das has published many novels and short stories in English and Malayalam under the name Madhvi Kuti. Some of her works in English include the novel Alphabet of Lust, a collection of short stories Padmavati the Harlot, and other stories. In addition to 5 books of poetry, she is a sensitive writer who captures the complex subtleties of human relationships in a lyrical idiom. My Mother at 66 is an example. So again, let me remind you, whenever you write question and answer, so obviously you would be knowing that this question is taken from which chapter. So the first thing that you are supposed to write is the name of the chapter along with the name of the author or poet. You have to write that because it's a mandatory thing. And then in the second paragraph you have to write your answer, and let me tell you, your answer should be straight to the point. Okay, do not just go on writing and writing, just make sure your answer is straight to the point. Now let us read. Now before we read, there is one sentence, let us just understand what it is. Aging is a natural process. Have you ever thought what our elderly parents expect from us? You are well aware about this. You would be knowing the answer of this question very well, so I don't think you need an explanation for this. It's a quite simple thing. Mind your own business. Okay? Do not interrupt anywhere where it is not necessary. Just do your work. Everything could be alright. Now, looking at the poem, we can clearly see that it's a lyrical poem. Okay? Now remember that. What kind of poem it is? It's a lyrical because the sentences are written, they are like the lyrics of a song, something like that. So that's the reason it's a lyrical poem. Now let us read. And remember, figures of speech, you have to know them. Okay, they are very important. So here also, along with the explanation, I would be giving away the few figures of speech. Make sure that you make notes of those things. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, dozed, open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was an old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young. Now we can clearly see that our author, I mean to say our poet, now she is driving her parents to the airport, and near to her sits her mother. Okay, now you can clearly see that her mother is like those, like she looks very very old. Okay, like at a certain instant of time a person cannot grow further older, like only the age increases. disease appears, it seems like everything is the same, nothing's changed. Oh, you can see that even our face is open, and our author is not accepting the fact that her mother is turning old. Okay, that is the mother at 66. She's old. She's not accepting that, but after looking at her, she's definitely realizing that she is getting old and one day she would pass away. Okay, so that is what it is written here, that they both are in the car. And author, I mean to say our poet, she is having all such thoughts going into her mind, and with the help of these thoughts that she had, she is writing a lyrical poem. Now let me tell you figures of speech. You see her face ashen like that of a corpse. You see like is printed, so definitely there is a comparison. Okay, there is a direct comparison. So here the figure of speech would be simile. And like, if you underline the word like, then definitely like that of a corpse, then it is definitely a simile. And she realized with the pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away. Okay, and afterwards, like she might be talking to herself in her head, like, okay, let's just put those things aside. So now, as they are moving in the car, now let us see what she is describing. And looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan and pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. Okay, so now before the way she dropped her to the airport, she was talking about the trees. Okay, the sprinting trees, that's definitely personification. Okay, sprinting is a human characteristics that's of running. Okay, so of the young, she is thinking in the opposite side of the spectrum about the young tree sprinting. She's talking about the children she might have seen along the way, happy children. Merry, the word merry means happy. Okay, those children might be playing, so they might be happy at that time. That's the reason she is writing all those words. Okay, the merry children sprinting trees. So she is thinking about the youth. Okay, but again she finally dropped at the airport, and there was a security check of Granny. I mean to say our poet's mother. Her security check was going on. Then that was the last time our poet had seen her mother, and at that time she had described that her face was colorless. Okay, and she was really old, and she is recollecting her childhood fear that one day she would never know that she would be seeing her again. Okay, she might die. Okay, that is what our author wants to convey, I mean our poet. And so she is using euphemism. Okay, indirectly she is using euphemism, remember that. Okay, and she is also comparing her looks like a late winter's moon and felt that old familiar ache. Okay, this is as a late winter's moon. Okay, that is what she is doing, the comparison with her mother. Okay, and finally she didn't say anything, she just told goodbye, mother. Okay, and she was just smiling and smiling and smiling. That's repetition. Okay, because the same word is printed 3 times. So this is what a small poem is about. That is my mother at 66. Make sure before writing any answers of this poem You have to write the name of the poem and you have to write the name of the poet. It's a mandatory thing to do. Now let us discuss few figures of speech. Okay, now let us do it. Now first is driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning. Now can you tell me what are the figures of speech used? Now let me tell you, one statement can have more than one figures of speech. Okay, you have to rectify that depending on the options given to you in the question paper. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning. Now firstly, the figure of speech you can definitely write as an internal rhyme because they are the rhyming words. You see the rhyming words driving and morning are used in the same statement, correct? Driving and morning, so that's definitely internal rhyme. And another one is alliteration because you see the M sound, the consonant sound M is getting repeated. You see my and morning. That's the reason you can also write as a alliteration. Now another, I saw my mother beside me doze open mouth. Now you see, I saw my mother beside me doze open mouth. Now mouth is a part of a body, so definitely you can write the figure of speech as a synecdoche because it's a part of a body. And another one again is the alliteration. You can see M sound is getting repeated. My mother, me. So definitely you can write this as alliteration too, depending on the option given to you. Okay, synecdoche fits and even alliteration fits. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. First is simile, very clear, like is clearly printed, and another figure of speech you can see there. If a part of body is mentioned, yes, it is mentioned, and if it is mentioned, then definitely a figure of speech would be synecdoche. So you have to check in the statement, like is there is a part of a body mentioned, so you have to say yes, it is mentioned here, it is face, so that's the reason it's a synecdoche. So here synecdoche can come and even the alliteration can come, it won't give any problem. Okay, now let us discuss one more. And looked out at young trees sprinting. Okay, young trees sprinting. Now firstly, now here if you check about any part of a body, it is not mentioned, so definitely it's not synecdoche. When I was explaining you the poem, the thing I had told you was personification because the human characteristics is described. Okay, human characteristics of sprinting, that is running, so that's the reason it is personification. And apart from personification, you can also write this as figure of speech. One of the figures of speech you can mention is hyperbole, okay, because this is an overstatement, okay, like trees sprinting, kings of king, queens of queens, these are all hyperbolic statement, okay, overstatement, so definitely this is hyperbole too. All I did was smile and smile and smile. As I explained you, three words are printed three times, so definitely it's repetition. Now the married children spilling out of their homes. Okay, now the married children spilling out of their homes. Now definitely you can write this as alliteration because the sound is getting repeated. You can see the and there. Okay, so definitely this is alliteration. Okay, so this is all about this poem. In next video I would be uploading the another poem. Make sure you stay tuned and stay updated and stay safe. Thank you.